Why does everybody stress so much upon their first job experience? Why does everybody keep advising you to get some work experience before you join a postgrad degree, especially something like an MBA? Well, I listed down 10 points which I learned during my first job, and they happen to benefit me a lot during my MBA, during my summer internship, and life after. So come on, hear these points out. Hi guys, this is Urvashi Jain. Welcome back to my channel MBA Guinea Pig. As you know, I'm a recent MDI Gurgaon Alum and I make videos on everything MBA, life before MBA, life at MDI Gurgaon, and life after having passed out. So if that is something which interests you, please like, share and subscribe, because your support motivates me to make more and more videos. Now guys, before I begin with the topic today, the very first thing that I would do is make an announcement. So yes, I'm going for my convocation and I will be capturing all my campus moments during the convocation at MDI Gurgaon on my Instagram channel. The handle to that is MBA Guinea Pig. I'm going to write it up there, and so you can follow me on my Instagram account and catch some on-campus action. Moving right into the topic today. अभी सबके लिए पहली जॉब बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट होती है एंड वी हैव सच फॉन्ड मेमोरीज और बैड मेमोरीज अटैच टू आवर वेरी फर्स्ट जॉब. Why? That is because the learning curve at your very first job is extremely steep compared to what you may learn at your subsequent jobs. Why? Because तुम एकदम ही फ्रेशर उठ के आए हो और तुम्हें बिल्कुल ज़्यादा कुछ पता नहीं होता of how the corporate world works. Now, following are a list of 10 things which I learned during my first job, and they benefited me quite a lot during my MBA days, during my summer internship and life after. So the very first point that I learned was mailing etiquettes. Now most of the communication in the corporate world is done through emails today, as most of you who are working already know. And email is not like तुम्हारा normal school में letter writing. ईमेल एटिकेट बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कहाँ पे योर्स सिंसेरली लिखना है, कहाँ पे योर्स फेथफुली लिखना है और कहाँ पे बेस्ट रिगार्ड्स लिखना है. These little things also make a difference in your tone and thing that you're trying to put across. And when you work in an organization, this is something that you can learn really well, and try and ask your seniors around कि कौन सी मेल कैसे exactly draft की जानी चाहिए, because it is really going to benefit you in your life ahead. The second thing which I learned was PPT skills and Excel skills. Again, I was a fresher और मुझे PPT बनाना नहीं आता था, मुझे Excel बिल्कुल नहीं आता था, but मेरे आसपास मेरे टीम के लोग अच्छे थे and I often used to walk up to them and ask them कि कोई भी काम कैसे होगा, and that is where I learned most of my PPT skills from. As far as Excel is concerned, जब सर पे पड़ जाता था कि कोई काम करना है, I would just go on YouTube, look up कि ऐसी चीज़ें कैसे कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हाउ डू यू पुट एन एज लुकअप और अ वी लुकअप, और हाउ डू यू पुट अ फॉर्मूला इन एक्सेल. ऑल ऑफ दिस most of it I learned from YouTube or from my teammates. The third very important thing that I learned was जो काम किसी से बात करके हो सकता है, things which can be done by walking across the desk and talking to a person shouldn't be done on emails. Why? Guys, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है that we take shortcuts and हम ईमेल लिख के छोड़ देते हैं and somebody might just ignore your email. So बहुत ज़रूरी है कि just go to people, talk to them and discuss करके एक solution पे पहुँचो. And काम बहुत जल्दी निकलवाने का तरीका है कि सीधी बात कर लो rather than टाइम वेस्ट करो, 4 emails लिखो, वो पलट के 4 emails लिखें. And that is something I learned very late in my job. 6 months in, I learned this from a senior, and that's why I'm trying to pass this on to you. Point number 4 that I learned was, again, very very important, that you cannot outshine your team. अभी स्कूल कॉलेज में कैसा होता है, we study for ourselves, our result is our very own. But ऑफिस में ऐसा नहीं होगा. मैथ्स ऐसा होगा that within your team you perform well and your boss recognizes your performance. But on an organizational level, it is important that all of you work as a team towards a goal. Because if you are in a good organization and you actually have a lot of workload on you, you will never be able to excel अगर तुम एक साइलो में काम कर रहे हो और अकेले जीतने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. So it's important कि अपने टीममेट से बना के रखो, उनसे सीखो, उन्हें सिखाओ, and all of you achieve the targets as a group. Because trust me, जब तुम as a group अच्छा परफॉर्म करोगे, that means कि तुम एक बड़े लेवल पे अच्छा परफॉर्म करोगे and the organization is going to benefit you and reward you. Point number 5 that I learned, अगेन दिस पॉइंट वॉज समथिंग जो मुझे रादर बाहर निकल के समझ आया देन ऑन द जॉब, वॉज दैट माई हेल्थ is more important than my ambition. Why? Because if I'm sick, I'm anyways not going to be in the right frame of mind to give my 100% to the job. And इसलिए बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि मैं हमेशा एक फिजिकली हेल्दी रहूँ, अपनी फैमिली को इम्पोर्टेंस दूँ, एक डिसिप्लिन लाइफ जीऊँ, अच्छा खाना खाऊँ, ताकि मैं जॉब पे भी अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकूँ और मोटिवेटेड रहूँ. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट विच वॉज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वॉज दैट हमेशा कस्टमर्स ये नहीं चाहते कि उन्हें मॉनेटरी रिवॉर्ड हो या बेनिफिट हो. ऑफन वॉट कस्टमर्स वॉन्ट फ्रॉम यू इज टू बी हर्ड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू पुट कॉमेंट्स ऑन माई यूट्यूब वीडियो एंड आई रिस्पॉन्ड बैक, डज इट फील गुड? It does, right? That means I'm acknowledging that you've put in the effort to watch my video and now you're committing yourself to writing a comment on it. So it feels good when you get that kind of a response from the person giving you some material, and that's what most companies fail at. They are not connected with their customer, or they are too egotistical about accepting their mistakes. They get very defensive, and that's where they lose the client. I was in a job which was client facing, and this was the very first thing which was taught to me कि listen to the customer, and उस listening से ही अक्सर the customer diagnoses himself and you get a solution to his or her problems. Next point, treat people equal and it's going to have a very far reaching impact. Now what do I mean by treat people equal? ये नहीं कि तुम एक सदगुरु ज्ञानी बन जाओ. I am saying कि just लोगों को उनके डेजिग्नेशन से जज मत करो. Look at them as people who know their job well, and therefore if they are telling you something, hear them out. इसका एक एग्जाम्पल, मेरी कंपनी के सीईओ मुझसे 5 लेवल्स ज़्यादा सीनियर थे, एंड येट आई ऑलवेज फेल्ट द कंफर्ट to walk into his cabin if I had any problem whatsoever. And that respect drove me so much that even if today he happens to call me and says that Urvashi, just come back and join in and we want you to work for us on a project, I will actually give it a very serious thought in spite of being in a good job on my own right now. So being treated equal, being recognized and given that respect in spite of being so junior actually had a huge impact on me, and I hope to replicate that in future in my career. The next thing which I learned on my job was that boss is always right. अब ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा important point है, because जब हम अपनी पहली जॉब ज्वाइन करते हैं, वी आर वेरी आइडियलिस्टिक, वी आर वेरी ड्रिवन, वी आर वेरी एम्बिशियस, और उसमें क्या होता है कि हम भूल जाते हैं दैट इट्स नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट हमेशा हम अपने स्टाइल से काम कर पाएँ. इट्स द बॉस हु वी हैव टू लिसन टू, एंड अगर कंपनी में सब अपने हिसाब से चलने लगे, द होल कंपनी वुड कम क्रैशिंग डाउन. एंड सो जस्ट कीप योर ईगो एट अ बे. एंड अगर बॉस कुछ कह रहा है, if you don't have a very important reason to not listen to an instruction and you've tried explaining it to the boss and they still don't agree, it's okay. Just listen to them. Just do things their way. Again, इसका एक एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ. मेरी समर इंटर्नशिप में मेरे मेंटर ने मेरे एक आइडिया को पॉइंट ब्लैंक स्क्रैप कर दिया था, एंड आई वॉज वेरी इरिटेटेड विद हिम, क्योंकि मैंने 3 दिन बैठ के उसके ऊपर PPT बनाई, उस पर पूरा रिसर्च किया, एंड इट वॉज स्क्रैप्ड. But first job ka experience that don't argue much with your boss, I moved on and I started working on other things. Lekin I had communicated to him that this idea was very dear to me, and at some point I will sit with him and understand why it won't work. He actually took out the time 10 days later to explain to me that why my idea would have failed when I took it to the mass audience. और 10 दिन के ही एक्सपीरियंस में somehow मुझे हाइंडसाइट में दिख गया कि जो वो पॉइंट बोल रहे हैं वो एक्चुअली बहुत वैलिड है, और क्योंकि मेरा लैक ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस है, दैट्स व्हाई आई वाज नॉट गेटिंग हिम इन द वेरी फर्स्ट गो. सो रिस्पेक्ट दैट एक्सपीरियंस. कमिंग फ्रॉम दिस इज द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, दैट डू नॉट वाइन एंड क्राई, लर्न टू कम्युनिकेट. If somebody offends you, if you don't like something, you have issues with something, there is some inconvenience you're facing, don't crib about it. You're no more a student. Report it to somebody, report it in a very cordial way, or talk to your teammates, try to sort it out, because you're doing this job for yourself. तुम्हारे मम्मी पापा ज़बरदस्ती स्कूल बैग पहना के तुम्हें स्कूल नहीं भेज रहे हैं. If you develop that knack of communicating and getting your things sorted out, you will just enjoy your work better. The very last thing that I would share with you is, हमेशा लोगों को वो लोग ज़्यादा पसंद आते हैं जो स्टेबल होते हैं और जो एक जैसी परफॉर्मेंस को रेप्लिकेट कर सकते हैं. दैट इज़ दे आर रिलायबल. versus people who may be big geniuses but they are whimsical. So try to be a person जो कूल दिमाग रखता है और एक जैसी कंसिस्टेंट परफॉर्मेंस देता है, रादर देन कि तुम्हारा कर्व ऐसे ऐसे जाए. आज मूड अच्छा है तो उर्वशी 3 वीडियोस डालेगी और आज मूड खराब है तो उर्वशी 3 हफ्ते तक वीडियोस नहीं डालेगी. That is not what you have to be. You have to be a consistent good performer, okay? And that doesn't mean you wouldn't put your creativity to the job, but just hold on to your emotions. Don't be very moody. All of these things which I discussed with you today, ये मेरे समझाने से समझ नहीं आएंगी. This is just, you know, the purpose of the video is to give you pointers कि ये सब सीखने को मिलेगा, ये सब सीखना ज़रूरी है, इसलिए कर सकते हो तो वर्क एक्सपीरियंस ज़रूर करो, किसी अच्छी जगह पे करो जहाँ एक्चुअली काम मिलेगा, भले ही पैसे कम मिलें, एंड यू विल रीप द बेनिफिट्स इन योर फ्यूचर लाइफ and they will make you that much more richer as a person in your experiences. Apart from this, the people who are already working, if you have some points to add to this video of what people can learn from their first job experience, please put them down in the comment section below, because as you know, I read all your comments and I try to respond to as many as I can. With this, I sign out. Remember to go to Insta and catch all the on-campus fun. Bye guys. Mwah.